Shit, I've messed up. Thank you very much. How are we doing, everyone? I think we are. Turn that light out for me, babe. I believe that we are live. And if we are, let me know in the chat in just a second. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all well. Saturday morning here in California, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're all having a nice day. So, Saturday, just said that. Let's have a look. Hi, Bisping. There we go. How we doing, Mike? DJ Mikey B, Correctamundo. So, what we all up to? I can't become a member for any channel for some reason. Based MMA. What is going on with you, buddy? I'm not sure what to say about that, mate. No fights this weekend as such. We do have Road to the Octagon for the UFC. It's a lot of fights going down in Asia, in Shanghai, actually, at the Performance Institute. But other than that, no typical, pay-per-views, things like that. But let's have a look, see what you're all saying on here. We live. You're doing good. I'm doing good, balls. I am doing very good. Waiting for June the 3rd. What's June the 3rd? That's next weekend. I'm commentating that one. Kai Kara France versus Amir Al-Bazi. I am having a good day, brother. What's up from Tennessee? I'm good friends with Luke Rockhold. But we need Greenville, South Carolina. Balls. I love Greenville. It's one of my favorite places that I've been to in the States so far. Greenville, South Carolina is a beautiful place. Much love from Scotland. I'm commentating UFC 290. What's 290? What's that saying about my mic? Your mic. Yeah, what about it? Is it loud? Is it low? Can you hear me? Anyway, hello from Yorkshire, Huddersfield. God bless you, Bisping. Anyway, this is all well and good. Any chance of getting Luis J. Gomez on? Yeah, maybe. Anglo-Saxon. Hope you well. Hope you well, buddy. £5 there, so you're definitely an Anglo-Saxon. Please fight Jake Paul. The mic is way too low, is it? I'll turn you up a touch. Last time I did this, it went way too loud. Please bring the sound up. We'll bring that over here. How's that then? How's that? It's not supposed to be funny. Best of all, leading league sports creative. Jake Paul. Someone said fight Jake Paul. Can't hear you, dude. Sound is low. Jesus Christ. You're a demanding bunch, aren't you? Hold on. Let's have a look. The mic is low. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
You sound gay. The mic is fine. Yeah, okay,
yeah,
thank you very much.
Why
does Darren Till always get obese in between fights and then wonder why he gets beat? I have never seen Darren Till obese in my entire life, so I don't know what you're talking about there. Hi, Michael, Canada. Hi from Canada, Michael. How bad were you hurt by Anderson's knee at the end of round 3? Very bad. Still a bit too quiet, is it? Well, you're going to have to turn your volume up. How about that? How bad was I hurt? Very bad. Well, everyone says I was unconscious. I wasn't unconscious because I was having a bloody, what's it called? A conversation with the referee. If you watch that fight back, I'm echoing bad. Oh, yeah, because I've turned the webcam. There we go. Sorry about the echo, guys. I am bloody useless. It's not echoing now. It's stopped. And I know it's stopped. And you know it's stopped. So stop messing with me. Yeah, no, it'll stop because you're on a delay. Everyone's saying it. The echo will be down. The echo will be gone in a second because you're all seeing me on delay. All right. Yeah, you're all saying echo. Now it's good. Do I miss Bob Bisping? Echo, echo, echo. Is it still echoing back? Much better. There we go. Jesus Christ, I'm bloody useless. Anyway, what was I saying? I was having a conversation with bloody Herb Dean. I said, Anderson Silva need me in the face. I know, now we're good. Thanks, Giovanni Riano. No, Anderson Silva need me in the face. I fall down on the floor. And the round went beep, round ended. Herb Dean steps in, and I hear the beep, and I'm like, what's going on? I look up at Herb, I say, I'm not out. And he says, I know, fight's still on. So there you go. So, but I was hurt, definitely. I had cuts all over my bloody face. Anyway, are you coming to Salt Lake City? I'm not, no. When is that? Is that August? I don't know. No, maybe I'll go and work BT Sport. I'm not commentating that fight. I wish I was. What a tremendous fight that is. Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier for the BMF. What is that? UFC 290. Let's have a look at the rest of the fight card, because the fight card is ridiculous, isn't it? No, that's International Fight Week. Poirier versus Gaethje 2. Let's have a look at Wiki. UFC 291 Wiki. The old Pedia. All right, so let's have a look here. Get the fight card. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. What are we thinking that one? Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira. That's a good one. Title fight implications also. Tony Ferguson, Bobby Green, Paulo Costa, Ikram Ilaskerov, Stephen Thompson, Michelle Pereira, Derek Lewis, Rogerio de Lima, Chiesa, and Kevin Holland. I mean, that's as good as a fight card gets. I mean, and that's a weird thing to say because there's no champion on there. But Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, every time you see them, you know they're always in a fight of the night. Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira, winner of that gets a title fight. I'm telling you right now, that will be Jan Blachowicz. Of course, Pereira has the ability to knock him out, but that isn't going to happen. General Lixon, welcome to the club, buddy. You are now a believer. Jan Blachowicz will probably wrestle him, take him down, and I think maybe get a submission or a ground and pound stoppage. And Valtra just said there, bad matchup for Alex. It is. That said, every round starts on the feet. You never know what's going to happen, but 99.99999%, it'll be Jan Blachowicz for sure. The only good thing about Powerslap is my commentating. Well, T, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I see all the negativity and the criticism, you know, and I get what you're all saying. You're saying, well, this is brain damage waiting to happen. Let me tell you about this. So when you commentate, whether it's the UFC or Powerslap or whatever it is, you do your research and you sit down and you speak to the athletes or the fighters or the contestants in the Powerslap, whatever you want to call them. And these backstories that these people have, you know, they're very, very inspirational. Like there's one guy called Cole Young, okay? And he has a son that has a condition called EDG. Basically, he's not going to live very long, okay? It's very, very sad. It's heartbreaking. And by doing this, and these guys, you know, they're not coming from wealthy backgrounds. You know, they're like a lot of fighters, you know, and I resonate with a lot of these people. I came from, you know, tough times, you know what I mean? Left school at 16. And these guys, you know, they're walking away with $30,000, $40,000, some of them. And that is life-changing money to these guys. You know, it was life-changing money to me when I first signed with the UFC. And this one guy in particular that has the sick son, he's like, this allows me to not work so I can spend as much time as I can with my son at home. And when you hear these things, and they're so grateful for these opportunities, you know, so it's all well and good people sitting in the lofty perches and talking shit about it, you know, and Powerslap's already a thing. Well, not Powerslap, slap boxing, it's all over the world. It is all over the world. It's very popular. At least now they're getting drug tested. They're having medicals done. It's done in the most safe environment ever. You know, listen, Dana White's an entrepreneur. You can't blame the man for being a businessman. If these guys aren't doing it at Powerslap and doing it somewhere else, they're getting paid way less money to do it somewhere else. They're not getting drug tested. They're not having medicals done, and it's a far less safe environment. And I'm telling you, all you people that are talking shit about it, if you went to an event, you would realize it's a pretty fucking awesome time, if I'm honest. So anyway, there you go. How is my left eye holding up? Well, thank you, Nanny Bougie. Left eye's holding up pretty good, actually. I mean, I'll be adjusting the contact lens because I've got astigmatism. So my lens moves a lot, so I'm probably repeating myself. $15,000 would pay surgery to save my life. Definitely life-changing. Exactly, Birdie Siemens. You know what I mean? Obviously, in the UFC, you can earn more money. The bonuses are way bigger. But for some of these people... Craig Walker, where'd that go? I've heard you're having an affair with Philip Schofield. I'm disappointed, Michael. Oh, Jesus Christ, Craig. I was there going on about life-changing money and all the rest of it. And then I see that. That's just made my day. Oh, Philip Schofield. What is he up to? What is he doing? Now, Americans won't know Philip Schofield. He's a British TV journalist, presenter even. We'll go with presenter. And he came out a few years ago as gay and he was married and all the rest of it, but who cares? Do whatever you want. Fill your boots. Couldn't care less about that. But he was having an inappropriate relationship with a young boy. That I kind of do have an issue with, but still, we're not here to discuss the sex life of Philip Schofield that no one ever hears of. Mike, will I be on Dana White's Contender Series this year? Yes, I will. All right, here's a good question from Anakin Skywalker. What's up, Anakin? I've seen you on here a few times. Conor McGregor has been partying a lot lately. Does he have a chance against Chandler? AKA Cow, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. You've gifted 5 memberships. Well, how about that? McGregor's been partying a lot. Does he stand a chance against Michael Chandler? And you know, the general consensus right now in the mixed martial arts community is that McGregor is going to knock out Michael Chandler. Dustin Poirier says that. Eddie Alvarez says that. What have they both got in? And Jose Aldo probably says that. Conor McGregor, Canelo. No, Conor McGregor. How did I do that? You know why they say that? And by the way, Conor McGregor does have a chance of knocking out Michael Chandler. I'm not saying they're wrong. But here's, and I'll get to that in a minute, hold on. But here's always the situation when somebody beats you. And the way that Dustin Poirier got beaten the first time out and the way that Eddie Alvarez got beat, I like Eddie Alvarez. He's a great guy and he's a tremendous fighter. But they got smoked. Certainly Dustin in the first one. And then Dustin went and beat him twice, fair and square. Of course, again, you're going to say that Conor wins because not everyone could beat Conor. I beat Conor because I'm really good. And Conor beat me once, so therefore Conor will beat him. And Eddie Alvarez, you know, with respect, got smoked. So of course they say Conor's going to win because it makes them look good. That is how the ego of a fighter works. It just is. It just is. Now, the original question was, does Conor McGregor have a chance? Of course he has a bloody chance. Of course. But I think I'm not breaking any news here. When the man looks like he's been partying a little bit, you know, I'm trying to find something here. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler will be over in 2 rounds, says Dustin Poirier. Conor McGregor tells Michael Chandler the fight will be at 185, so on and so forth. Look, listen, here's the reality. He broke his leg. He's been out for some time. He put a bit of weight on. He's been partying. Why not? Let's be honest. Why not? Enjoy the riches of your spoils a little bit. That doesn't mean that he can't get back in shape. He can't get back on track in 6 months' time. Do you know what I mean? And trust me, you're speaking to a professional. I had time out with my eye. You know, I've when I was younger, I used to party too much. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, the current version of Conor McGregor right now, he looks like he's partying a bit and he's a little swollen and puffy and all the rest of it. Yeah, no, that version won't. But a version in 6 months of dedication and training and getting your ass in the gym and living the lifestyle of an athlete, 6 months is a long time. So we will wait and see. Hey, champ, this is Chris Edge. Since the inception of mixed martial arts, which championship belt design do you think was the coolest looking? I fancy those 1FC belts. NC in the house, North Carolina. Do you know what? I've never seen the 1FC belts. Let's have a look at them. I do like the new UFC ones, I'm not going to lie. 1FC championship belts. I like the new UFC ones. I think that's just because I'm jealous. Let's have a look at these. I mean, they're nice, aren't they? They're beautiful. They are very nice. And there's a UFC one next to a 1FC belt there. I prefer the UFC. Not going to lie. I'm not just saying that because I'm a company man, as you all say. They're both very nice. But the UFC definitely holds... it's more prestigious. I think we can all agree on that, let's be honest. Balls. B-A-L-L-S. Big up yourself, bruv. Thank you very much. What are my thoughts on Mark Coleman doing a boxing match? This will be his first fight in 13 years. I'm not sure how old Mark Coleman is. Mark Coleman's been getting back in shape, though. Mark Coleman, for anyone that doesn't know, if you're newer to the sport, the godfather of ground and pound, the first ever UFC heavyweight champion, all-round good guy, you know, and he's been a positive influence on social media these days. He's sober is cool. You know, he's not drinking any kind of alcohol. He's living a strict diet. He's kind of on a carnivore diet. He's working out all day, every day. And he's really, really turned his life around. I think he went through some pretty bad alcoholism back in the day. So listen, he's got his life on track. He's not drinking anymore. He wants something to work towards, a goal. He wants something to train for. He wants something to stay on the straight and narrow. And if doing a celebrity boxing match or an exhibition boxing match is that thing that keeps him on track, well, then good for him. You know what I mean? As long as he's just got, you know, a reasonable opponent, someone that's a similar age or experience and things like that, going in against a 25-year-old killer, that isn't the way. That isn't the one. Anyway, so it's a great excuse to get in shape. Exactly, Valtra. You're absolutely right. Mike, would you send a hug to your fans in Brazil? Lucas de Brito. Mucho obrigado. And this is a virtual hug. Will Darren Till ever get his life together? I understand he's got his life together. I believe he's in the midst of creating his own fight promotion right now. So I hope that goes well for him. Hey, Mike, greetings from Ohio. My question. Do I think Chael Sonnen gets into the UFC Hall of Fame? Ooh, that's a good question. It's a good question. I think, and I could be wrong, I think if he was going to get into the Hall of Fame, it probably would have happened by now. But he parted ways. He tested positive so many times, didn't he? You know, and he had that. And he was very upfront about it. I like Chael. I respect Chael. I think he's awesome at what he does. I think he's great for the sport. I think he's fantastic. But I think if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. Keegan Moore says, Mike, which comedian would you want to star in an action comedy movie? Where'd that go? Which comedian would I want to star in an action comedy movie with? Is that something that interests me? Yeah, of course it is. Absolutely it is. Which comedian? Ricky Gervais, man. Come on. Ricky Gervais is the one, isn't he? Hi, Mike. Do a handicap match with you teaming up with Dominic Cruz versus Dylan Dennis and the dude from Bourbon Street. All right, balls. Dominic Cruz versus Dylan Dennis. What do you reckon happens in that one? I would say put a poll up, but Anthony Evans isn't here. He's taking his son to a water park. Can you believe it? What a prick. How dare he? Anyway, let's get back to these questions. What are my thoughts on George Harwick? I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with him. The writer's strike making movie work slow for you? I just finished filming a part in a movie called Den of Thieves 2. And I did something last year as well. I don't get a lot of acting work. You know, I'm not an actor. I don't class myself as an actor at all. In fact, when I worked on this movie, Red Sonja, last year, one of the actors on there, great guy, Luca, we were having this conversation and I'm like, I'm not an actor. He's like, Mike, what are you talking about? You've done a fair bit of stuff. I'm like, I'm not an actor. He's like, yeah, you are. You can act. You're an actor. I'm like, no, I'm not. I was a fighter that now works within the fight world that does a bit of acting. You know, and he's like, you're wrong, you're an actor, you are, you care, you're good at it and all the rest of it. So to answer your question in a very long roundabout way, no, it hasn't made it slow for me because I'm not exactly turning down roles by the minute, you know what I mean? Wish I was. How's my left eye holding up? That's an old one. Oliveira versus Dariush. Do we think that Oliveira can make a comeback? It's a tough fight to make a comeback with. And it's not necessarily a comeback for Dariush, is it? Is it a comeback for Justin Gaethje? Is it a comeback for Dustin Poirier? Is Conor McGregor having a comeback? You can't stay champion of the world forever. Oliveira became the champ. He made some money, you know. Lived out his dream, defended the belt, had some major fights, lost to Islam Makhachev. No shame in that. Still one of the best in the world. Probably still ranked number one, if I'm not wrong. And he's got a tough fight against Dariush. If he beats Dariush, good chance he fights for the belt again pretty soon. I think Dariush gets it, guaranteed. I might have read that somewhere, I don't know. But I don't think it's a comeback for Oliveira. It's just fighting. He's making a living. He's supporting his family. He's living his dreams. And he's doing what he's good at. You know? It's not necessarily a comeback. He's still fighting for a living. Just because he's not the champ anymore doesn't mean that it's a comeback. I think that's what a lot of people mistake. When you live in the life of a fighter, it is your life. It's your life. And yeah, you reach those highs. And if you're someone like a Conor McGregor or a Daniel Cormier, I'm just seeing him on my other monitor here. There's a lot of people that have made a tremendous amount of money. And there's a lot of people that make very, very good money. And just because they lose the belt, it's not boxing. They can still make good money. And they still enjoy it. They still love it. And it's still who they are in their DNA as a person. So they still continue to fight. And they'll always have aspirations of becoming the champion again. But it's not fair to call that a comeback. You know what I mean? I hope he does well, though. I do like him. All right, here we go. Tyson Fury versus Jon Jones on Powerslap. Who wins? What do you think? No man alive can beat my son in a Powerslap contest. There's just no way. Well, Tyson Fury would take Jon Jones out in Powerslap for sure. He's the boxer. He hits harder, but in a mixed martial arts contest, no man born of a woman is going to beat Jon Jones. Simple as that. No boxer born of a woman is going to beat Jon Jones. No way. It's just not going to happen. We've talked about this at length. I've done many videos on it. And Tyson Fury getting all upset. Well, not upset. He's probably just getting free PR about it. Ranting and raving on social media a little bit. Because, you're the baddest man on the planet if you're the heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Well, that's outdated. Now, if you're the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, that's the new baddest man on the planet. A boxer could not stand with a mixed martial artist unless the mixed martial artist chose to stand with them. They're going to shoot. James Toney versus Randy Couture back in the day. Took him down in round one. James Toney was a very, very accomplished multiple weight division boxing champion, I think. Randy Couture ankle picked him. I think it was a head and arm choke off the top of my head. And that's what any mixed martial artist worth their salt is just going to shoot straight away. They're not going to stand. Is there any fights that you wish that never... Are there any fights that you wish happened that never came into fruition? For me personally, I always wanted to fight Rich Franklin. But in terms of the other fights, I'm not sure. Did I ever meet Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why never in a movie together? I did meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. Lovely guy. I was working out in a gym. I was at Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, California. Working out with a friend of mine called Michael Hearn. Very, very famous bodybuilder. He was taking me through a workout, kicking my ass, making me look like a little weakling. You know what I mean? Some of these bodybuilders, man, it's insane. They're warming up with like 3 plates either side. And I'm like, yeah, hold on a minute. We're going to have to take some of those weights off because I am not doing that shit. But I'll take you all down. So yeah, I was working out with Michael Hearn. I got a little tap on the shoulder and I look around and there's the legend, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And funnily enough, talking about acting stuff, I sound like an idiot. Funnily enough, Arnold Schwarzenegger's nephew is kind of like my entertainment lawyer. So we kind of have an in-roll. So we started talking. He was such a nice guy. Gave me a lot of advice. Actually. So just a lovely, lovely guy. H&N Taylor, yo, big up yourself. So yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my heroes. I mean, if you think about James Toney KO Tim Sylvia in an MMA match, yeah, because Tim Sylvia can't wrestle. Tim Sylvia can't fight. He never could. He was just a big, lanky, big person. Was Arnold chomping a cigar whilst lifting? Because I can see it. He wasn't smoking a cigar while lifting weights, no. But here's another thing that really impressed me. When you think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, he came from very humble beginnings in Austria. Through his work ethic, became the biggest bodybuilder on the planet. Then he parlayed that into becoming the biggest movie star on the planet. Then he became the governor of California, and then he started doing movies again. So it's unbelievable. When he showed up at the gym, he was there with his girlfriend, rode a bike to the gym, lifted his weights, no entourage, no security, none of that bullshit, just him and his girlfriend. And then they got back on the bikes and off they popped. And I thought, do you know what? Look at that. Talk about a humble man. Very, very humble. Because, you see a lot of people out there, they get a little bit of fame these days, and it all goes to the head. I mean, you get these people on Instagram you look at their bio, public figure. Shut up. No, you're not. You're not a public figure. I don't know who the hell you are. you know, and then the people talking about their fans and all the rest of it. You just sound like a proper wanker. Anyway, yeah, he's still in phenomenal shape as well. Mike, who do we think will win on the UFC 290 card? So UFC 290, hold on, here we go, Jazz Azo. 6'9", 275 pounds, 85-inch reach versus 6'4", 250 heavyweight, 84-inch reach. I mean, I had a lot of takedown defense training, and I feel like Tyson might have a chance. Well, I understand your point there, buddy. I understand your point. You got a good point. Absolutely. There's no reason why Tyson Fury couldn't apply himself and learn takedown defense, learn wrestling, learn jiu-jitsu. There's no reason that he couldn't do that, and he could. But it takes years. It takes absolute goddamn years. We're not talking 3 months. We're not talking 6 months. We're talking a goddamn lifetime, okay? I started Japanese jiu-jitsu when I was 8 years old. I did jiu-jitsu throughout the entirety of my life. I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu from about 22. I still do it now. I'm pretty bloody good at jiu-jitsu, let me tell you that. I'll tap out most people. I was never heralded as a Damian Maia. I was still under a threat of being submitted by many, many people. A boxer, you can't go away and drill for 3 months and think you're going to go up there against John Jones. The people that John Jones are beating, they're mixed martial artists that have also done it their entire life. And he's making it look easy against them. This is just the disconnection that people don't understand. If you're a boxing fan, you think, well, you can learn it. You can. It takes a lifetime to master. When you do martial arts, what they say is, only when you become your black belt do you truly begin to learn. There's an old expression that they say, but the point of that is that it's only then that you really start understanding the real systems of martial arts. And jiu-jitsu is incredibly complicated. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a very, very difficult, complicated art form to learn. It's all about leverages and how the body works and moves and using people's weight against them and their body weights and all kinds of stuff. That's why, believe it or not, when you look at a lot of jiu-jitsu players, they're nerds. They're goddamn nerds. Do you know what I mean? Who's that guy? He was fighting in ONE FC recently and he was just on his ass, scooting along. He's the biggest fucking nerd you've ever seen in your life. You know, jiu-jitsu guys are nerds. So that's why I'm all right at jiu-jitsu, because I like jiu-jitsu and I'm good at jiu-jitsu, but I'm not the best because I'm not a nerd. You know what I mean? That's my version anyway. There you go. We've got to remember Terry Bailey. What's up? Terry Bailey. Powerslap isn't hurting kids. Grown adults can do whatever they want, whether they like it or not. Not a fan, don't watch. Simple. Terry Bailey, there's a good reason that you've been a member for 10 months, mate, because that's it. That is it in a nutshell. Do you know grown adults make dumb choices every day? People take drugs. People smoke cigarettes. People do all kinds of crazy shit. They're grown adults. If they want to choose to stand there and do a part of this, they want to get a little bit of fame in the local town. They want to get paid some money. They want to be on TV. They want to do something crazy. Fucking hell. Who are we to judge? The popular bandwagon movement is to just rip on Dana and rip on the UFC, right? No one's putting a gun to these people's heads. No one's exploiting them. They're doing this in other organizations. There was one of the guys called Darius the Destroyer. And in the first Powerslap, and you know, it's not like I'm trying to convince you all for Powerslap, but it's a good point that you need to realize. In the first Powerslap that we did in March, he went up against this guy called Wolverine. Right? And as it turns out, Wolverine knocked him out with the first slap, I think it was. These guys had fought each other 3 times before in some bumfuck back of nowhere bar, or some barnyard even. You know, piles of hay everywhere. They went 27 rounds. 27 rounds. Slapping the hell out of each other, back and forth. 27 rounds. Do you know what I mean? No one got knocked out. They couldn't knock each other out. And they got paid next to nothing for it. This time now, you know, one of them becomes a champ. Make of that what you will. Listen, it's promotion. One of them becomes the world champion. They're both earning good money. There's not 27 rounds in a championship bout. There's 5 rounds. It's way safer. No one's putting a gun to the head. And if you don't like it, as our mate Terry Bailey, member for 10 months, if you don't like it, don't watch. Mike, answer me this. Is my son pursuing a fight career like me? None of them are pursuing fight careers. They do train. They do jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Lucas is doing MMA training at the Den in Yorba Linda. If anyone's around the Yorba Linda, Placentia, Fullerton, Anaheim Hills area of Orange County, the Den Training Center, and he absolutely loves it, but he's not pursuing it as a career. He's 12 years old. He's doing his bloody schoolwork. So we've got a good question here, and I want to talk about this. Raj Mukund says, does Callum really beat 5 kids of your town? I'm not sure what you're saying there, but I think the question, what you're asking is, so my son Callum, a couple of weeks ago, I walk in, I was picking Lucas up from training. I walk in, and he's FaceTiming his mother, my wife, and I look at the FaceTime, and all his face is bleeding. He's covered in blood. He's been jumped off 5 guys. 5 guys picked on him, started a fight. So he was at college, and he walks into an elevator, and there's 5 dudes and a woman there, and he's just looking down at his phone. He's got his earbuds in. Earbuds, idiots. Anyway, he's got them in, and they're talking shit to him. He can hear them talking shit, going, yeah, that's right, look at your phone, and whatever. So he was choosing to ignore them. The doors open at the elevator. He walks out, and as the doors are closing, one of them says, yeah, that's right, pussy, walk away. So he turns around and he's like, what are you talking about? You know, and I don't know what he said. He said something probably like, you know, suck it or whatever, and walks off to his car. Then as he's approaching his car, they run up behind him, 5 of them. He turns around, bang! One of them punches him in the face, hard as he can, splits all his lip wide open. Callum grabs all of him, picks him up, body slams him on the floor. Another guy grabs him, boom! He body shots him. The guy literally starts throwing up. And then he turned around to face the other 3, and then the other 3 kind of backed up, you know. So he handled the situation, and you know, I was happy for him. I really was, that he was able to defend himself, you know, because he's never had a fight before in his life, because he's not that type of guy that goes around imposing his will, talking crap at people, puffing his chest out, just being the loudest guy in the room. He's a very quiet guy. He's a very nice, friendly. I'm very proud of the man that he is. He's a very, very nice person. But he's a son of a bitch. If you get on the wrong side of him, as the famous going says, if you fuck around, you'll find out pretty quickly. And they did, you know. But his girlfriend called us up, and she had a very, very good point, because she was concerned. But she said, well, what if Callum couldn't defend himself? What if he couldn't defend himself? What if he'd never done any training? He'd probably be in hospital right now. And she's right. That is a very good point. So anyway, there you go. There's a little story for you. Big Les, your boy got smoked, but Josh is gifting him a win. Don't know what you're talking about there. What do you like training the most? Boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. What's the funnest for me? Yeah, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whichever one you want to call it. Muay Thai, for sure. I do enjoy Jiu-Jitsu. The problem is now with my knees and with my back. It's very painful. Wrestling's always awful. Wrestling's hard. But striking training, in whatever iteration you want to call it, that's fun, man. And when you get some good music on, it's kind of like you're dancing, you know, you're moving around, you get a sweat, you get those endorphins going. You know, jiu-jitsu is awesome. It's a beautiful art, but I like striking. I like moving. And it's what I'm best at as well. So there we go. All right, we've got the super chats coming in. Keep them coming. Are you surprised they didn't make Izzy versus Pereira 3 even? This is from Jeff Wiseman. I am. I thought that was the fight to make. It's 1-on-1 in the UFC, and middleweight is sort of in limbo. Jeff Wiseman, you're absolutely right, buddy. I thought they would have made that. Both fights were sensational. That second one, the knockout from Izzy, was just unbelievable. And I thought they would have made the rubber match. It seemed a logical thing to do. And I think, you know, far be it for me to second guess what the UFC do, because they know exactly what they're doing. I think there would have been a thirst for that fight from the buying audience. I mean, who doesn't want to see that settled once and for all? But hey, He's moved up to light heavyweight. What are you going to do? MMA for Life says, shout out to you, Anthony Brown and Harrington, for all you do. I love the Believe You Me podcast. Do we plan on doing more live BYMs as well? Yes, we do. We will be doing one very, very soon, probably for the next pay-per-view maybe. But yeah, no, thank you, everyone. Thank you, MMA for Life, for saying that. And if you haven't subscribed and rung the bell to the Believe You Me podcast, please do so. If you haven't subscribed and rung the bell on this channel, what are you even doing with your life? MMA for Life, shout out. The Infiltrator 101 says they should do a version of Powerslap where bald people slap each other on the top of the head as hard as they can. Oh dear, I don't know why that makes me think of that thing. I got done with this on The Ultimate Fighter. You know, when you put a spoon in your head and you have to dunk, you hit them on the head with the spoon, and I do it, and then they go, right, it's your turn, and you look down, and then someone else whacks you on the fucking head from behind with a spoon. Anyway, I don't know why I thought of that. Bisping, Alex wins the light heavyweight belt. Izzy has his trilogy there. No way. Chris Williamson, in a perfect world, that would be sensational. Pereira beats Jan Blachowicz. Pereira beats Jamal Hill. He becomes the champ. Izzy moves up to 205. There's 2 belts on the line. That would be amazing. And you never know. You can never say never, but I just think Jan Blachowicz is a bad introduction to the light heavyweight division. I think he's a very, very tough matchup for him regarding the wrestling, but you never know. Do you know what's happening with the UK fighters? When is Jack the Tank Shaw fighting next? How's Till doing? When's Tom Aspinall fighting next? Bloody hell, mate. Do you not keep up with the world? Let's have a look here. So, UFC London, It's Tom Aspinall. This has been announced, mate. Tom Aspinall versus Marcin Tybura, July 22nd. Let's have a little look-see here. A little gander Randa Rooney. Hold on. Move that there. Bring down the fight card. Yeah, here we go so far. Tom Aspinall versus Marcin Tybura. That's a good fight. Obviously, Tom is the man. Tybura's no walk in the park, though. Molly McCann, Julia Stoliarenko. McCann obviously got to come back when she got finished from Erin Blanchfield. Lerone Murphy has got a massive, massive future. He's very good, very technical, fast, excellent striking, good takedown defense. Josh Kulabau, though, fighting out of Australia. Don't sleep on that guy. Davy Grant. Who doesn't love Davy Grant? What a fighter he is. What a fighter. Daniel Marcos, Mark Jacasey, Joel Alvarez. That's a sick fight. Ketlin Vieira, Panikanzia, Nathaniel Wood, Andre Feely, Jai Herbert, Faraz Ziam. And you can see the rest on screen. I'm not reading them all out. So there you go. July 22nd, I'll be there in London. Get your tickets. Is Lucas going to become a slap athlete? Let's fucking go. Lucas ain't doing no combat sports. He's got a brain. I'm not saying that anyone that fights doesn't have a brain, but as I think you'll find, all fighters don't necessarily wish that their son or daughter or children go off and become fighters. They will say if they choose that, they will support them 100%. And if my children do choose that, they have my full support. You know, but the old saying goes is I fought so that they don't have to. You know what I mean? They're going to college, they're getting proper educations, you know, they've got a nice upbringing. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Thoughts on the MMA fighter, Kilal Blacks? It's supposed to be a joke, but I don't get it. Big Mike says, I'm confused about the BMF belt. Does it stay with a fighter who wins it until he retires? I understand what you're saying there, because Masvidal won the BMF belt. He never put it on the line. He never defended it. And then he retired and it became open for grabs again. I don't know, mate. I'm not sure how that goes. I mean, let's just say Dustin Poirier wins. I'm not saying he does. Let's say Poirier wins. He could choose to put that on the line, I guess, or they might not do that. I don't know. That's between them and the UFC. And I don't think the general public, I don't think that information's out there. And even though I'm a UFC commentator, I do not know the details on that, mate. T says, do I think the loser retires between Gaethje and Poirier? I don't think so. You know, Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje are both 34 years old. Listen to this. This is mental. Poirier and Gaethje. This is what they have in common. Both 34 years old. Both had fight of the night against Michael Chandler. Both two of the most exciting fighters in lightweight. Both were interim champions. Both lost the undisputed title to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and now they're going to fight each other for the second time. I don't believe that either man would retire. Hold on. Justin Gaethje did say, though, didn't he? Justin Gaethje said that his plan is to become champion of the world soon, within 2 fights, defend the belt a couple of times, and then retire, which is a good plan. You know, if he loses to Poirier, you never know. I don't think he'd retire, but I think the retirement would be within sight. And to be honest, the same with Dustin Poirier. Let's just look at that again, UFC 291 wiki. Because when you look at Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler, they've done it for a long time. Certainly Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier has been a part of the furniture for bloody God knows how long with the UFC. 2010? 12? I don't know. I signed in 2005 with the UFC. My God, that makes me feel old. Here we go. UFC, still on UFC. Was a lot. Right, so he signed with the UFC in, 2011 against Josh Grisby. 1, 2. There's a lot of fights. Now his record is 29-7. That's not a bad record at all. What was mine? 31-9 when I retired. So, yeah, I mean, listen, both guys have got a lot of miles on the clock, but I feel like they could still go for a while. Bisping, Tony Ferguson needs to give it up. He's taking serious damage. I understand why you would say that, you know, and he has been taking some damage, but he's also been fighting the best guys. You know, he really has, and that's not me being... me trying to put a spin on it. It's just the reality of the situation. Now he's fighting Bobby Green. No disrespect to Bobby Green. Love what Bobby Green brings to the table. But it's a step back in terms of competition. I mean, look at this. Look at who Ferguson was losing to. Nate Diaz, Michael Chandler, Beneil Dariush, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje. Oliveira, Dariush, Michael Chandler, Nate Diaz. I mean, what a run. What a run. And he got... All right, to be fair, he got finished 3 times. Bobby Green is a tremendous fighter and he's very capable of finishing him, but he's not like one of the top 5. You know what I'm saying? So if he can get by Bobby Green, maybe he still has a future. If he doesn't get by Bobby Green and it's a really bad finish and Tony ends up going to sleep, then yeah, I would say so. Paul Baker, Evening Michael. Let's put down Tyson Fury and I raise you Mike Tyson against John Jones. What do I think to that? Yes, Mike, no wrestler, doesn't throw kicks, but let him get close to you and you're out. Well, Paul Baker, I don't know if you know this, Mike Tyson's about 60 years old. Or are you talking about using a time machine and bringing the prime Mike Tyson? Again, would still get taken down. Factamundos. Now, what Mike Tyson does have going in his favour, though, is that the shorter guys, which Mike isn't the tallest, I'm not saying he's short, what is he, like 5'11", something like that, they're harder to take down because you got a level change. You got to go from up here, you got to go down low and then shoot in. You know, so it'd be harder for a guy like Jones to do, but he'd still take him down. What's this? Here comes Brock Lesnar with the money in the bank. He's cashed it in. And oh my God, Jeff, I have no idea what that is. Hi, Michael, when is your next movie coming out? And what's the name? It is called Red Sonja. It's actually probably one of my biggest roles to date. And a very, very enjoyable role as well. I played a gladiator, set in like mythical times, you know. Check this out. I have a fight with a Cyclops. Not just me, there's like my little... Ooh. I shouldn't be saying anything. Anyway, but still, it's set in mythical times. And I play a gladiator, and it's great. Who is the greatest mixed martial artist of all time? Does using gear negate a fighter's accomplishments? Spoken about this a million times, mate. Not that I'm dismissing you. It should, and it does. But the greatest are Anderson, John Jones, and George St. Pierre. John Jones and Anderson definitely tested positive many times. So they've got asterisks there, but you can't deny that they're some of the greatest. And then George St. Pierre, he never. So I guess he's the greatest. And the guy that took my belt It's not bad. You lose to the greatest of all time. Yeah, bro. Have a great day. Hit me up. Ryan Priest. Will do, mate. I haven't got your number. Don't know. You don't know where you live. Just see your name on the YouTube. But I'll hit you up later. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, it definitely diminishes if you've taken drugs against opponents who hadn't. You're right. You're right. It does. It does. Anakin Skywalker again. Do you think if Till returned to the UFC at welterweight, he could have success again? I do. I think Darren Till still has a future in the UFC. I really, really do. And I'd like to see him back there. He was having a lot of problems with his knees. So that's why he wanted to step away from the UFC and do some striking-only fights whilst his knees can get together, because he didn't want to get the surgery, from what I understand. Didn't want to get the surgery, so, he's going to take some fights that doesn't involve grappling and wrestling, because it's such a toll on the body. It really is. And let that heal up and then come back. So Jeff Wellsman says, simple question, but I'm curious. Do I miss fighting? Yeah, I do. I miss it a lot. I do. Everything else seems mundane. I love commentating. That is really, really fun when I'm doing it, but you cannot compare to the thrill of getting ready for a fight and the fight itself, win or lose. Nothing compares with that. Nothing. But not just the fight itself, the preparation, the getting ready for it, the training, the game planning, getting that email from the UFC. You're sitting there on your couch, you look at your inbox, and you've been expecting it, but there it is, the official offer. You've got the contract. You're fighting in Australia. You're going to Sydney to fight whoever, Luke Rockhold, You call up your coach, got the offer, got the date. You get together with your team. They all come over to the house. You sit there. My boxing coach, my Muay Thai coach, my wrestling coach, my strength and conditioning coach, they'd come over. Rebecca would do some food. We'd put some of their fights on the TV. We'd watch their fights. We'd see how they fight. We'd take some notes. Then we'd formulate a game plan. We used to get the whiteboard out and the marker. We'd plan the training sessions and all the rest of it. Then you do the day-to-day grind. You go through the training camp, As you're going through the camp, you're getting sharper, you're getting faster, you're losing weight. The six-pack's coming back. You're not drinking. You're feeling good every day, And then the time comes, you all get on a plane together, you and your brothers. You jump on a plane. You fly to the other side of the fucking world. And the plan is, we're going to go kick someone's ass on TV. In the main event, in a massive arena, in front of 25,000 people. And you're going to get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. Yeah, I miss it. Of course I do. But I also know that my time is done. So there you go. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And I had a very, very good long career. Can we all tweet Arnold with the caption, Bisping for Conan too? Please do. Please do. Bisping could be one of Conan's allies. I would love to do that. Bisping is tweeting his life away. How will Till evolve his grappling if he's just striking? Well, he's letting his body heal. If his body's not healed and he grapples, he's just going to further get hurt. So he's taking a little time away. He's still only 29 or 30 years old, so he's got time. Okay, that sounds really lovely, Michael. Hold on, where did that go? Where did it go? That sounds really lovely, Michael. It's a shame you're now in your 60s like Mike Tyson. I'm not in my 60s, 44, feel good. I'm in my prime. I will whoop your ass. That is a goddamn fact. In fact, all 1,076 of you, I hate to say it to you, but I'd smash you all up. No man alive. No man alive. Would The Rock beat up Nate Diaz? It's a good question. More than likely. Size matters. Size does matter. Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting question. No, who knows? Maybe Nate Diaz might choke him out. Anyone close to The Rock's size that does mixed martial arts will smoke him. The Rock's a bodybuilder. I'm not talking shit about The Rock. I'm a fan. I like what he does. Pain and Gain, what a film that is. I haven't seen much of his stuff outside of that, to be honest. But he spread positivity. Seems like a good dude. But he's a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders aren't fighters. Just because you've got muscles doesn't mean you're hard. So, yeah. Izzy for the son of Grace Jones on King Conan. Oh, God. Oh, God, that's funny. That's funny. He does have a certain Grace Jones look, doesn't he? Let's be honest. But hey, I'm a fan of Izzy, man. I am a fan of Izzy. How can you not be? That's not the most Grace Jones looking like. Sometimes he does when he's all shiny and he's in the sweat of things and he's looking lean against a fatter opponent. But come on, we can't hate on the champ. Unbelievable. I am the Cooney. No, 31 is not too old to start training, mate. Get it done. We got a Tory Frankhauser. My brother got knocked out fast in his first amateur fight. Any words of wisdom for him? His name is Rory. Well, Rory, that's the way it goes. That's the fight game. You're fine. You live to see another day. You know, you haven't got any damage. That's what you signed up for. You were trying to do the same thing to him and you got caught. It's your first amateur fight. Learn from that. If you want to continue and you want to make a career out of this, you know, what did you do wrong? Were you too anxious? Were you too nervous? Did you rush at the guy? Were you too timid? Were you out of shape? Did you, did you not train? I don't know any of the answers to these questions, but you do. Ask yourself, what was the reason why? If he was just way better than you, well then, he was better than you. You will get better if you continue to train. If you went up against someone that one day is going to be a champion of the world and you were just getting your feet wet, hey, listen, there's no shame in it. There's absolutely no shame. You're man enough to try it and step out there and do it. You can't ever guarantee you're going to win. Sometimes you zig when you should have zagged. Simple as that. All the best and good luck to you, Rory. Jabulani says, do you think you have a better chance against Ali in a boxing match or Tank Abbott in an eating competition? That's a tough one, isn't it? Well, Muhammad Ali's dead. And I'm not going to sit here and make jokes about the dead Muhammad Ali. I can be a fat bastard when I want to. I reckon I'll take Tank Abbott in an eating competition. And if it just needs that word. If you say competition in anything, because I'm so competitive, if it's an eating competition, I'll win. I'll win. If it's a fighting competition, I'll win. If it's a drinking competition, sadly, I'll also win. This chat kills these streams. We don't care when you meet Mike or whatever. Talk some MMA for fuck's sake. You know, it's a good point. It's a good point. Do you know what I did want to talk about? How do we all feel? No, let's have a look at this real quick. This is a good question. This is a good question. Not a good question, a good conversation. So, Dricus du Plessis. Israel Adesanya, confident Robert Whittaker beats Dricus du Plessis at UFC 290. Open to the trilogy bout. He said, I tried to do the du Plessis in the effing Death Star, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. Oof. There's going to be an MMA fight there. If you haven't seen that, the Raiders Stadium, the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, it is unbelievable. And it does look like the Death Star. An MMA fight's going to happen there at some point. Anyway, he said, I tried, maybe not International Fight Week because it was already booked, but I tried later on. I was like, F it, give him to me. It's already there. What's the point? Why wait? This is the game we play. Adesanya just said F. I realise it's just 3 rounds. I'd say Rob probably beats him, gets him out of there in the second round, or just beat him up for 3 rounds. Dricus is only his chance. I don't know. I don't like to say there's no way, because there's a way, right? But he can outlast Rob. I think Rob will be faster than him, fitter than him. He might just have to make it ugly. But Rob can also fight ugly as well. So we'll see. No, it doesn't bother me. I think there's another story there. It's in a new city in Australia, another stadium, I'm sure. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Basically saying that he's open to a third fight with Robert Whittaker. Well, he has to be open to a third fight with Robert Whittaker because Robert Whittaker is the next best middleweight on the planet in the UFC. It's as simple as that. And the first time he got smoked against Adesanya. The second time it was close. You never know. The third time might be the one. And Robert Whittaker's still really young. He's still very, very young. I think he's like, 31? Something like that. So you never know. You never know he could get it done. Other than that, I don't see anybody else beating him. I mean, obviously there's Alex Pereira, but he's up at 205 right now. Who else is there? I mean, Dricus du Plessis against Robert Whittaker. I like Dricus, so I'll choose my words carefully. I think Dricus du Plessis is a great guy. I love the way he fights. I love what he brings to the table. The way he fights, though, and the reason I say I love the way he fights is because he's fun. You know what I mean? He's not the most technical. From what I've seen so far, and I don't think he could deny this, he gets tired very quickly. Hold on, it's bloody boiling in here. I'm going to ask Rebecca to put the bloody air conditioning on. Air conditioning, for the love of God, please. So hot in here. This room in my house is boiling all the time. It's cold outside. We're in California. Anyway, Dricus du Plessis, he gets tired. Come the second round, he's always blowing out of his ass. But he's found a way to win every time. And that's what I respect about him. And the fact that he does get tired, and the fact that he is sloppy, but he still gets it done, again, is impressive. But I think against a tactical technician like Robert Whittaker, a man that can wrestle, box, kickbox, black belt in jiu-jitsu, can do it all, that's a former champion, that's got tremendous experience, and that has true aspirations of becoming the champion again, I think it's a really, really tough matchup. Joe Zigman says Whittaker takes the trilogy. Well, listen, the Robert Whittaker that fought Marvin Vettori, I mean, that was a masterclass. Certainly in striking. That was one of the best performances I can remember seeing recently. Michael, did I ever cross paths with Lee Lightning Murray? I haven't seen his documentary. I crossed paths a couple of times back in the day when I used to fight on Cage Rage. Good interactions. Lee Murray was a legend. He was a bloody legend. Oh, look at this. Israel Adesanya gets... Look at this. Hold on. Israel Adesanya recently challenged entire bar to a fight in New Zealand. He defended a comedian... My nose is blocked. He defended a comedian from an entire bar. UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya made sure comedian Bert Kreischer left New Zealand safe. Adesanya recently created... Blah, 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 blah. Give us the story. Where is it? On a recent... Explain what happened. We ended up in a bar in New Zealand, 3 a.m. We got pretty lit. He stands up, I stand up with him back to back, and we challenge everyone in the bar to a fist fight. And he said, I'll carry every motherfucker in the room for this man right here. I thought he was doing a Steve Harvey bit. We started going table to table, challenging motherfuckers. Who wants it? Who wants it? We ended up buying the whole bar shots 3 times. All right, so they're having a laugh. I mean, that is clickbait, my MMA news, you pieces of shit. So they're having a laugh, and they're walking around saying who wants to have a fight. They're having fun. They're being silly. Good for them. They're having a good time. And then they buy shots to everyone. You just look at it, weren't a bunch of bad-ass bloody Maori motherfuckers in there that took that the wrong way. Tyson Fury tells Israel Adesanya, I ain't going in no cage. Yeah, we know that. Khamzat Chimaev accuses the UFC of protecting the built-up Israel Adesanya. They don't want to kill that guy. That's interesting. Let's have a look at that one. Let's have a little look-see at this, and then we'll do a few questions. Khamzat accuses the UFC of protecting Adesanya. All right, where's the story? He says, you know they built him up. They don't want him to lose that fast. I finished that guy without punches. That's why they're scared. Then his story's dead, you know. They don't want to kill that guy. Maybe that guy makes money for them, but I still make money as well. So I don't know what's going on. Khamzat Chimaev trying to get that fight there at 185 against Israel Adesanya. And that's the way to do it. I mean, listen, Chimaev hasn't fought for a bit. And as a fan, that's frustrating. But he said on his YouTube channel this week that he was going to be fighting in Abu Dhabi in October. So that's probably when it's going to go down. I don't know who he's going to fight. I know Kamaru Usman's trying to get that fight, which I respect Usman big time for trying to get that fight, because that's a difficult fight for Usman considering he's just got back-to-back defeats against Leon Edwards. But I'd like to watch that. But yeah, Khamzat, he's nowhere near, is he yet? He's got to establish himself. Think about Khamzat. This is a very curious case because he is in a unique position where he could potentially become a champion in 3 weight classes. 170, he struggles to make that. We saw that. Last time out, he missed weight. But he has made it 5 times before that. So that you can't say that he couldn't make it again. And all he needs to do is win one more fight at 170 pounds, and he would become the next challenger. Simple as that. Leon Edwards actually accepted a fight with him on 2 occasions. £185, where he's currently going to compete, I believe. If he wins one fight at 185, there's a good chance that he gets a title fight. And he's talking shit at 205 as well. And he's big enough and he's talented enough that if he went to 205 and got 1 or 2 wins, he could fight for the belt there as well. I mean, that just shows how talented the guy is, shows how popular the guy is, and it shows how confident he is. Khamzat did have bad COVID. It took his lung capacity, and he fought during Ramadan against Gilbert Burns. I'm not sure about the COVID thing, but I think he did fight during Ramadan, so that's impressive, as did Bilal Muhammad, I believe, against Gilbert Burns also, or it was just the end of Ramadan, I believe. Anyway, either way, it was a good fight. Got the job done against him. He is that good. Ragdolling would gas him out, maybe. Look, Stanley Moon, 205, lol. Yeah, 205, mate. You're out of your mind if you don't think he can't. You're out of your mind. If you don't think he can compete with someone just because they're 205. I was fighting at 185 for the longest time of my life. I was sparring the best people at 205 and doing very well. Back in the day, one of my main training partners was Quinton Rampage Jackson. Not saying that I'd beat Quinton Rampage Jackson in an MMA fight, but when we used to spar, they were very competitive. Do you know what I mean? Khamzat Chimaev could do well against 205ers. That's what I'm saying. So, lull it up all you want. Khamzat versus Shavkat, that'd be awesome. Oh, good shout. Who's that slit 518? That is a good one. That is a good one. Still, let's go back to the MMA news and see what we can see. Video, Alex Pereira gets encouraging words from Tyson Fury. Should we take a look? Should we take a little look, see? We'll have a little integration on the OBS. Where's the video, though? I hate these fucking websites. They do that, don't they? That's not a video. These websites these days are out of control. We've got a new member, Jason Carney. Welcome to the club. You're a believer. These fucking websites these days, it always says video, and you go on there, and there's not a video. Anyway, I'm on. No wonder I'm getting Israel Adesanya news only. I've Googled Israel Adesanya. So yeah, I'm going to get Israel Adesanya. So what do we think about these topics here, boys and girls? So which one we want to go into? McKee versus Pitbull. Scott Coker bullish on Bellator's future. It's all about fans concerned for Conor McGregor following viral interview. Conor McGregor tells Michael Chandler to be 185. We know that. That's old. Khamzat Chimaev destroys Paulo Costa. It's a slow news week, isn't it? It's a slow news week. We've got no UFC this weekend. Next pay-per-view isn't for a few weeks. Let's see if we can find the video here. See, look at this. I just look at this. Fans concerned. Look at this. Fans concerned for Conor McGregor following viral interview. But this video is Joey Pfeiffer believes he's the hardest hitting middleweight over Alex Pereira. There's no video. I mean, there's the true Geordie. Does Conor have a problem? Yeah, pricks. I get done every time. We've got some super chats real quick. Hello, Mr. Bisping. This is Paul Kimpian. I want to do an MMA fight before I'm 26. I'm 20 currently. What should I start training? MMA or focus on only one martial art first? Find yourself a very good MMA gym, Paul. A very good MMA gym that has a track record of producing fighters that have done well, or with a coach that is well known and respected, if you're lucky enough to have one in your area. If you want to have an MMA fight, if you start with only one martial art first, obviously you're going to have a limited skill set. You know, it's like Tyson Fury versus John Jones. But if you have the ability to go to an MMA gym, I would start doing that. But that doesn't mean every session you do MMA. That means sometimes you do jiu-jitsu, you'll do wrestling, you'll do kickboxing, you'll do striking, and then you put them all together. But all the best to you. Good luck, buddy. Matt Carney, Michael, who would have the greatest success, an average coach overseeing a world-class fighter or a world-class coach overseeing an average fighter? Oh, you prick. That's a tough one, isn't it? You're a prick, Matt Carney. A world-class coach over an average fighter. There we go. We've got a new member as well. Shout out you. Hello, Mr. Bisping. Can I have a shout out? Yeah, Josh Watson. There you go. Right, so let's do one of these stories. Let's do an MMA story. Let's get on the news. It is a slow news week. Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury apparently is in the works once again. If Ant was here, I'd say put a poll up, but he's not here. But do we think that's going to happen? I mean, Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury should have happened years ago. You know, but I do hope it happens now. It's been far, far, far too long. Hey, Mike, will I be at UFC 293 in Sydney? No, I will not be working that one. Will not be working that one, sadly. Cormier's free agency. Tim Kennedy details MMA career and military service. Did we know that Tim Kennedy served in the military? I don't know if you know that, guys. See, look at this. Conor McGregor tells Michael Chandler the fight will be at 185. That was out weeks ago. Tyson Fury getting taken down easily by UFC middleweight shows John Jones would maul him. Well, that's talking about when him and Nick Diaz did a little bit of training together. Fury would make quick work of Joshua, let's be real. Well, Chuckle Brothers, maybe you're right, you know, but I still think it needs to happen. These recent people that Fury's on about fighting, who was it? Dempsey McKean? That's insane. It should be Usyk. Should be Alexander Usyk. Simple. That's the fight that needs to happen. Outside of that, as a fan, I wouldn't mind Anthony Joshua. But outside of those two names, I don't see anybody else. And he's just wasting everyone's time. Excluding yourself, who's the most overrated and least talented champion in UFC history? Well, Cheddar Head, where's your belt, pal? Where's your Hall of Fame? Where's your records? You know? If you go and read my book, oh yeah, where's your book? At the back of the book, you'll see all my accomplishments, all the stats, all the records that I achieved. Yeah, might also be echoed in the documentary that people did. Oh yeah, where's your documentary? Where's your life? Is this what you do on a Saturday? I'm waiting for my beautiful wife to finish getting ready. She takes a while. I'm waiting for my beautiful wife to finish getting ready. Then I'm going to go out with my beautiful wife and my beautiful son. I'm going to make beautiful memories. But you're spending it sending shitty little fucking insults. Like the sad little prick you are. So, Cheddar Head, put that in your pipe and smoke it. MMA Junkies knockout of the month. Jesus Christ. You said excluding me. Yeah, you did. But you mean it apart from me. So, you know, can you get a shout out, David Perez? You can. Don't forget the one-man show. Yep. Well, I will be doing, it's not a one-man show. And I'm not making an announcement, but I'm teasing an announcement. If you're in the UK in December, if you're in London, if you're in Manchester, I will be appearing at 2 venues with myself and some very, very special guests. There you go. All right, what's this? Simon Mumby. I'm going to read it out loud. I haven't read it first. 6 whistleblowers who allegedly worked on military UFO programs spilled secrets to Congress behind closed doors about retrieving and analyzing crash material. Will the disclosure happen in our lifetime? So what are you saying there, Simon? Are you saying that basically they found crashed UFOs? You're not making that clear. You worked on UFO programs, spilled secrets to Congress behind closed doors about retrieving and analysing crash material. I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. But who believes in aliens? I do. So maybe they've found bloody aliens. You know, maybe they haven't. I don't know. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for the super chat, mate. But you got to give a little bit more details. GSP does say yes. GSP has been abducted by aliens. I don't know if you know that. Did he say that? Did he really say that? I love George. Honestly, George is the best guy. And we've got a great relationship. We've got a very, very good relationship. We text every now and again, things like that. So I would never shit on George. But he's got a good sense of humour. So let's just Google. Did he say George St. Pierre abducted by aliens? George St. Pierre abducted by aliens. Well, he's got a crazy plan to avoid alien abduction. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with preparation. Like all you assholes that went out there and bought out all the water and bought all the toilet roll. When the pandemic kicked in, you're all buying toilet roll. But let's have a look at his plan. I want to know what his plan is. I love George. George is the man. All right. Oh, we got the ads. We got the bloody Burger King or whatever that shit is. All right. UFC legend George St. Pierre fears being abducted by aliens and having his memory wiped. He's such a nutcase, George, the trainer said of the 38-year-old. He's crazy. He always tells me, so many crazy characters in MMA. You're the craziest one of all. Oh, no. His coach recalled, I shared a hotel room with him many times. He puts a foam roller up against the door like this. I move it. I put it away. He's like, no, bro, leave it there. For what? In case the aliens get us. He'll know the next day because the foam roller was moved. Rogan asked, Jesus Christ, does he think that aliens can come through the walls? How are they taking him out? Zahabi said, because they wipe his memory after. But he'll know because they don't know that he put the foam roller there. So when they move it, it's a cue for him to remember. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. You're not impressed by the chat's energy? Well, I'm sorry, Goku. I don't know what to tell you, mate. They're still buying the toilet paper. I know. You dickheads. Selfish bastards. Other people need to wipe their ass as well. You know what I'm saying? I think if aliens... I'm just throwing this out there. And far be it from me to disagree with the great George. If aliens can time travel... If they can come to us from other universes, far distant galaxies, if they have the technology to come through a wall, to abduct you, to wipe your memory, put you back in bed, and you wake up and not know anything about it, if they can do that, I reckon they might be able to foil the little foam roller trick. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like they're that smart, but the foam roller got them. The fucking foam roller not in the same place. Ah, bastard. We figured out time travel, intergalactic, high-speed, multi-galaxy, parallel universe travel. We did that. We can go through the walls. We can go through solid surfaces. We can abduct people without waking them up. We can take them to the mothership. We can wipe their memory. We can put them back there in the same hotel room without his buddy waking up. Tuck him back in, put him in the exact same position. We can do all that with that fucking foam roller, man. The fucking foam roller. I need to foam roll. Every now and again, I'm like, I should foam roll. I do a little bit, and then I don't go back to it. So anyway, did you ever watch McGregor Forever? No, I didn't. Better things to do with my time. If you want to watch a good documentary, though, watch Bisping. Available on Amazon or wherever you stream stuff. Mike, you're a top geezer for giving me a creepy wink last time. Well, thank you. Elliot McCormick Bisping, why doesn't Harrington help you with your show? Are you talking about this show? Because this isn't the podcast, mate. This is just me waiting for my missus to get ready and go out and about my day. Doing a quick live for you guys on the channel. Matty Fats here. No man alive is more of an alien than Elon Musk. I love you, DJ Mikey B. You're right. Elon Musk. He's a mental one, isn't he? What do we think about the Neuralink? Have you seen the Neuralink? So it's a chip that goes into people's brains and it will help with any kind of disorders that are caused because of the brain. They're also saying that they can record memories and you will be able to watch memories back at a later date, which sounds incredible. It does. And maybe, and no offense to the American audience. Maybe I've lived in America too long. Because a lot of Americans are they're paranoid, man. That everything, that any bit of technology is to control them. And I think maybe they're getting me to listen to them now. Because, you know, maybe they're going to put those chips in and they can control you. Like, they say that electric cars are bad because if you're not paying your payments, the car can then drive you the car can repossess itself. If you've got an outstanding arrest warrant, it will drive you to a police station and all these types of things. So they're against it all. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think it's the next evolution of modern technology in the automobile, you know. But they say all these crazy things, and I think it's maybe Brian that I do my podcast with. He's a fucking conspiracy nut. But they've got me thinking. I don't know if I want the government or a hospital, which is run by the government, putting a microchip in my brain, even if it can make me walk again. they've got to me. No man alive's putting a microchip in my head. No man. Bisping, why doesn't Harrington help you? Well, we did that one. Right. If you've got a question, get it on, because I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Leaving in 5 minutes. What went wrong with Darren Till? I think he overtrained a little bit. You know, and he had some tough fights. What conspiracy do I believe? I don't believe conspiracies, to be honest. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure there's a lot of shady shit going on that I'm not aware of. In fact, I know there is. I know there's a lot of shady shit going on that I'm not aware of. Of course there is. You can't trust governments. They're full of shit. They're lying. But guess what? Me, going about my day, I can't make a goddamn difference. So just live your best life and stop worrying about it. And a lot of times when people, and I saw this on Instagram or something like that, or maybe I read it online, but a lot of people that have all these conspiracies, they use it as an excuse or a reason for why their life's not going well. Well, I can't do well because it's a conspiracy and everyone's trying to keep us under. Just do your best, do you. Fuck what the government are saying, do you know what I mean? Fuck the conspiracies. If it's affecting your day-to-day life, then great. If it's not, then just crack on, do you. Go about your life. Be the best version of you that you can be. Worrying that they're putting fucking chemtrails in the sky to control the population. Even if they were, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. So you're just going to stress yourself out over it. They're not. They're called clouds, okay? Do you know? But even if they were, even if you had fucking proof, what are you going to do about it? Walk around with a gas mask on for the rest of your life? Not leave your house? Not socialise with people? You know? So anyway, that's about it. I think on that note, I'm gonna hang up. Yeah. Thoughts on Philip Schofield? I've answered this before. Sadly, bit of a nonce. And Brian is the man, by the way, Ben Frauhe. He is the man. Love Brian. He's great. Awesome. Americans have dealt with the R&D, the troubleshooting, and we are the innovators, created industries. We can see the road to Neuralink being a dangerous one. See what I mean? See what I mean? Who knows? Maybe he's just trying to help people walk again. Hey, Mike, what do you think about people? Think about Yair Rodriguez versus Volkanovski. I think we're living through with Alexander Volkanovski. I think we're living through. And who was it said this? I think it was Brian from the podcast that actually said this. And it was such a great point. You know, when people, because on the podcast I was asked this, who had the greatest title run in UFC history? Immediately I thought of Anderson Silva. There's John Jones, there's George St. Pierre, there's Matt Hughes. There's a lot of great fighters that had great runs. And Brian said, we might be actually experiencing one right now. Alexander Volkanovski at 145 pounds. I don't think I see anyone beating him. And I don't say that as any disrespect to Yair Rodriguez. It's just that I think Volkanovski is that good. I really do. And not just that, he's a top guy. What a guy Volkanovski is. Love him. I love his energy. I love the way he talks. I love how humble he is. Got a great sense of humour. Fights his goddamn ass off. But Yair Rodriguez will push him. Yair Rodriguez will give him a great fight. That's for damn sure. But I'm saying we might be living through one of the greatest eras that we'll ever see right now. So make sure you enjoy him while he's the champ. You know what I mean? Right. That's it, guys. Oh, I'm a big fan. Still gutted about your show getting cancelled. I had tickets for Copenhagen. Lucas Rowley Atterman. I apologise about that, buddy. I had to. I did this movie last year, and then after that, I was just away for 10 weeks? And I would have had to leave straight away and be gone for another 6 weeks. And I got to put my kids first. We are going to redo that one. We are going to redo it. So I apologise for that, buddy. Got one more little chat here. Jason Carney. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you lot watching. I'm going to go and enjoy my weekend. I'm going to take my wife and my son out. I don't know what we're going to do. It's the same thing every week, isn't it? What are we going to do? Don't know. We don't have any family here. No cousins, no family, aunts, uncles, mums, dads. Probably do something. We'll do what we always do. We'll go and get food. We'll go and stuff our faces like fat bastards. Buy things we don't need. Go for a walk. Take the dog out. I don't know. We'll think of something. Anyway, in the meantime, you guys be well. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you soon. Take care.